Good morning, Miss Grace Meng. My name is John Russo. I'm reaching out for assistance. I was a peace officer and I'm having trouble with the family court system because, quite frankly, they didn't do their job right. I'll explain. It's dismal. My daughter Gia, who's 12 years old, my estranged wife was being neglectful with my child by not sending her to school and constantly late. And this is when we lived together until September 23rd, which an incident occurred where I told her, "Hey, look, we have to get our child to school on time because our absences and latenesses are going to alarm the school and they're going to possibly call CPS on us." Of course, right here I have the record of the school if it needs to be seen. I have 3 years. She has a lot of absences over 3 years. Starting this year, the first 2 weeks of school, she was out half of them and late the rest. Now, for some reason, when I told this to my wife, she got very angry and she went and tried to put an order of protection against me in family court. It was dismissed with prejudice. Now, what that means when it's dismissed with prejudice is that the residing judge of the petition, at the hearing for the petition, decided it was a frivolous attempt to get an order of protection and dismissed it with prejudice so she would not be able to, or ordered her so she wouldn't file another frivolous order of protection in any other court. Well, Mrs. Meng, that's not what happened. The same day, since she wasn't able to obtain an order of protection from family court in the morning, she went and applied for one in criminal court at night court. I don't know if she lied to the judge or the judge forgot to ask her if she had any prior attempts to file an order of protection against me, but she was not to get this order of protection. Well, what happened to me is, after my daughter did not come home, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I called the police. And the police department came over with a defunct order of protection that shouldn't have existed and violated my gun rights. They took my service gun, ammunition, magazines, and my license, which they shouldn't have. What we had was an overzealous desk sergeant at the 107th precinct who never bothered to check the paperwork to see if it was illegal or not. And when my lawyer went down there following Monday, we were scouring for this order of protection, and we didn't find one. Why? Because none existed. Yet, the police acted on that and violated my civil rights. Now, to top it off, I actually have the minutes of the second illegal, I might add, illegal order of protection. And it clearly states a trumped up story that I menaced my child with my service revolver by cleaning it in front of them on an undisclosed date. Now, my wife accused me of brandishing a weapon against my 12-year-old daughter and her and it was all made up, so it was dismissed. But yet, she's the person that got herself into a Class D felony because she perjured herself in order to get an order of protection against me. And the court covered it up by saying now there was no order of protection against me, but yet they acted on one. And my wife, who I think is not 100% in her mental capacity because she actually created this and tried to get me put in prison on a trumped up charge, actually has my kid now in her custody, illegally I might add. And she, when I go to speak to my daughter, she's trying to dictate what I can say to my daughter. As far as I know, I have filed domestic violence against her as instructed by the DVU because her cutting off access to my child illegally is considered domestic violence. Now, my child should have never been removed from my home by my wife because she has no legal custody. In order to do so, she tried to file an order of protection against me. And that order of protection was dismissed with prejudice, yet she still, against the judge's orders, went and filed a frivolous order of protection, and it slipped through the system. That's violating my civil rights as a father and as a gun owner. And I would like somebody to contact me because all I'm getting is stonewalled from child services, child protective services, from the family court system. I tried to file a petition to get immediate custody of my daughter because if a person would file a false order of protection against me with all the charges in here I will make available for you to read, that I menaced them with a gun, that I threatened my daughter's life. And I actually spoke to my daughter. I go, do you remember this happening? And my daughter said no. My daughter was surprised that this happened. So my civil rights have been violated. I openly been accused of a crime, a false crime, falsely accused. She is actually should have a Class D felony. She's the actual criminal in this one because perjury is on an order of protection is a Class D felony, punishable by 7 years in jail and or 5 years probation. And yet, the court system, the police, the domestic violence units, they've done nothing. My daughter is in the hands of somebody that's unstable enough to create this fictitious story to get me thrown in prison for doing nothing but asking her to make sure our child goes to school. She's a control freak, and she's out of control, and I need some help. So please, if you can, I'll come to your office and show you the paperwork. And I'm sorry, the court system, the family court system, the criminal court system, and this order of protection racket, it's out of control. It's been used when it wasn't supposed to be. My number, you can reach me by responding to the comments in this video that I made, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. Just put a number in the comments field to your office, and I'll get to your office. And please, I need aid. I mean, these guys aren't doing anything, and at any given moment, if you read that order of protection that was made up, it's obviously made from an unstable person. And now my daughter's in custody of this unstable person. And I fear that she might do something to get even with me. I even removed my car from the parking garage under the building because I'm afraid she's going to go light it on fire and kill everybody in the building. just to get even with me. So I need your assistance. And on that, I'm out of here.